at Cheyou Essences.
And we got the matriarch Sharice Reed L in here. If you would introduce yourself to everyone. This is your first time on Karmic Dynasty, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
It is.
welcome. Now you've always been in the comments section. You are known there as Cherie Reed L hashtag unoccupied Turtle Island, and she be coming with that what up though.
That's fire.
Go ahead, introduce yourself.
What up, though, nation? I am Cherie Reed L of Reed's Learning Street. Also a scribe with the Unschool Guide to Reschool. I am located on Facebook and Instagram as Reed's Learning Street. We assist with getting everybody into the homeschooling or reschooling or whatever other assistance you may need. We tag team with all, as you can see, with our across the nation to make sure we get the information to you. And let me really quickly do this, just so that everyone knows we support our own.
Absolutely.
What's that you got there?
That's all.
That's my shea butter from Cheyou's Essence.
Cheyou Essences. Who made that?
Somebody I know in the in the class with us today. Yes, yes, we support our own. So ensure that you all support her as well. Okay, I'm gonna show you one more time.
And you can tell she been using that. Look at that.
Yeah.
I said it.
Okay, just oiled down my swimmers this morning before they went to their swim meet.
Okay. That's right. We gotta get you some
yes,
more.
and my phone number and links, my email address is RAKINGEDRIS at gmail.com.
Oh, and I got something wrong.
You've got IDRIS. Think of Idris Elba, but without the I.
Yeah. I was for that video that day. Is that right? I got you.
Excellent. And I am so glad to be here. This is my first time doing any type of a broadcast with anyone, and we chose to make sure it was with Karmic Dynasty.
Yes.
All right. So right now I am
Great job.
Thank you. Gratitude. I am sharing this broadcast out right now. So while I do that, I'm going to let everyone know how I came about, why we're here today, as I always do. So I am what some would call a homeschooler. Where I was my last child, he's out. And then in knowing Cheyou, and then I found out when conversation she talked about her unschooling, the same thing going on, and Sharice Reed L, her as well. We just all one day was talking about homeschooling and just general conversation. And first time we all were in the same place together was in Detroit.
Right.
Yep. Cheyou.
What is up?
Yep. Right. So we were at an event, and over time and just talking and building and supporting each other, we came about the unschool guide. We wanted to people were, with knowing both of them right here with me today, I got more and more knowledge on unschooling. Being on my platform, Karmic Dynasty, and the conversations came up, and then COVID conversation came up, and the whole scenario there with kids in school or not in school. And I was like, you know what, we should just write a book, because people keep asking like the same questions. And instead of me keep repeating myself, I could just put it in a written form. Mm-hmm. And matter of fact, with all of what y'all know, how about we just combine it? We work together and we put out this guide. Right. So that's how we got there.
Tell them go read the book. Ask your question.
Here go the book. Go to the book. I'm gonna keep copy and pasting and then all that. Right. Just do this one time. Distribute the book. So that's how we got where we at today. We actually started on this guide last year, and we had a meeting in Ohio at during my lecture tour event last year, and Cheyou to be there, but she came in remotely. So it's good this time to be in her Actually, we're all in Indiana right now. We just there's some hours between us, and but this time Sheree L, she's here remotely. But would you want to talk on something right now, Cheyou?
I'm good for now. I'm still
getting in this groove. Sheree L, she like pause. You got
still warming up.
She's like, I got you. I got plenty to say. What you got, matriarch? We listening.
I want to make sure that everybody knows that we are scribes, and we ourselves can make ourselves scribes. We create scribes by putting into the children. When we come together like this, nothing can stop us. What did that song say? Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. However it goes, what the children do, whatever. That's where I see us at.
Right.
Cheyou always has a ton to say, so I'm rather surprised that she doesn't have anything to say. That's why I look like that. Like, what? We always just
know about me is that I'm not a morning person. My circadian rhythm don't work like that.
Okay. And we already been on a lot of stuff over here. We've been multitasking, and it's already like all the way live over here. Yes.
I'm supposed to be asleep right
now. Now, right now, let's talk about because we all talk about it, but in her verbiage, in her words that come out of her mouth, a lot of time is the word synchronicity.
Synchronicity, yes.
And considering we started on this guide last year, and we taking pre-orders right now, and then I just politely got reminded it's back to school time. People about to put their kids on the school bus. I'm like, oh yeah, this guide is right on time. We need to get this out here to the
It's right on time.
Right on time.
Okay, I'm ready now. I got something to say about that.
Go ahead with.
Why be excited about sending your child to a school system that makes them come out as a box when you have a circular child or an oval child or a rectangular child or a triangular child? Why send them to come out as a box?
Right.
And why be excited about getting rid of your child to give them to someone else to put and feed into them what we as a nation should be feeding into them?
Absolutely.
There was a meme that just went around about tired of the taking them out to go get this and playing the video games, that, and obviously it slipped my mind because it was really horrible and I didn't really care for it, although it needs to be spoken on.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we speaking so badly about our children that came from us, that we're sending to another system, and then being excited about sending them to another system? That makes no sense to me. And now people are posting these things. Well, I am one to say, screw you and screw that system, because that system is harmful for us. My apologies for the passion. Yet I have seen, based off of your child that just graduated, meeting Cheyou's children, who the oldest one, I believe, is the one that's graduate. I'm not sure. My mind is here.
My two oldest both of them have high school diplomas.
That's what I thought.
Homeschool diplomas.
Exactly. Yes.
Right. So that's the 17-year-old and the 19-year-old. And see how that goes.
We can do it.
Right. And see how that goes, where they're both, as we're in the compulsory school system, they would be in different grades on different grade levels, as where when you homeschooling, they can all be on the same level. Even if, like, I have a 13-year-old, she could be on the same level, reading this, the same type of information that the 17 and the 19-year-old is reading or studying into or researching. And so then they all on this level. And because there's no limit for your intellect. You know, your intellect is limitless.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no. So why should we be placing our children in what I call indoctrination camps?
Yes.
You know, and then
Yeah.
now they're standardized, right? I mean, it's not like it's hidden because every book that they give to the children in school, right? It's going to say standardized edition, standardized version. It's all standardized, and that's the box right there. And that's yeah. So why limit them?
I totally agree. I keep all of my children from even the newborn that I just started schooling. I keep her listening to even the older children so that she can hear what they're learning. When she gets there, she already knows it.
Right.
The same concept you're saying with your children, how they all learn together. When they get there, now they're able to graduate together, even though they're at different ages. They're learning at their own capacity and at their own ability, not the standardized
version. The standardized version. And why would you know, if you had a choice, like, I mean, to each his and her own, you know, but if you had a choice, why would you pick the standardized version versus the limitless? You know, that's like that where they say you have the 3 wishes, right? So why wouldn't your first wish be to have unlimited wishes? That's what my first wish would be. That's what my first wish would be, to have unlimited wishes. You know, versus I get 3 wishes. What the heck is this?
Right.
I get the standardized version.
I agree.
Now, when it comes back to school and these memes, I shared with both of everybody on the panel today that this back to school stuff, I'm gonna have to get some t-shirts. Say no to back to school. Now, I don't know who's gonna grab that and they gonna work with it with me. I'm getting some, and also, Rob from Peace, brother, peace. And the little back to school rallies, and where they send the kids to go get your hair cut back to school. Go, little girls, go get your hair did before back to school. Go to this rally and get free school supplies. I'm gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
Indianapolis, let me know you got that going on. I'm there with this unschool guide, and I'm gonna be there with this mouth.
That's right.
I'm gonna be there, and I'll be done rolled by, picked up Cheyou. We gonna tag team date. We gonna tag team. And I ain't
and I'm gonna have a shirt on that says "No back to school, back to your roots."
That's right. Yes.
Shirt. We getting them shirts did. So
I'm on board with that.
We gonna come up here to Detroit and hit them sideways too.
Here's something that I think everybody should know.
What's up?
Joy Allen blessed me with being able to unschool her son, the latest one.
Okay, can we talk?
That is beautiful.
Talk about it now. This right here, what you about to express, is something that Cheyou definitely makes a point of while we're getting all this.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely in the making of this unschool guide, Cheyou definitely brought it to the attention of where, so people out there who was like, I cannot homeschool my child, unschool my child because I gotta be at work. Y'all got all these excuses. You can let somebody else unschool your child.
Absolutely.
Teach them. So yeah, we actually worked together and unschooled my son. You know, she had a curriculum and a viewpoint, and it's just like putting them in school when they go from class to class, or they in the main class and then they go to another class for art or another class for music. I put my son in the Reed's Learning Street. Yes, I did. That's and she took very good care of my son to the point I almost was like, do you just want him? Because you so great. You can have it. Talk to us more about that experience.
Well, It was great because, first of all, I got to learn another student and how his brain functioned, of which he also gave insight to my son. They were able to bounce information off of each other and learn how to learn differently, which makes a difference. Just like you said, going to a different class with a different instructor or scribe who gives you a different way to see the world or see a subject.
Or what I called in the book, or guide rather, peer bonding, right? So coming out of that school system where always trying to keep up with the latest trend, you know, that what is everybody wearing and how everybody is doing, reacting. And so coming out of that and transitioning into homeschooling, you're not gonna really, or the child might feel like they don't see their peers the same way they did it. You know, as soon as you come through the door, it's a rush, right?
Yes.
So I would think that's very, very, and it's also therapeutic for the child, for your young seed is when they have somebody to share that experience with, so they don't feel like they're alone in this process, in the journey, you know. And yes, and they bounce off each other, same as my sister Cherie just stated. They do bounce off each other. They can learn from each other,
even with the age difference.
Yeah,
the age difference that they did. Yeah,
right.
Because it's like 6 years between them, Sharice.
Yes. Because Jalen 17 and King was only 11. So yet they were able to learn together.
Yeah.
From each other. And I didn't have to sit there the entire time. I could just listen from earshot and hear them bouncing information off of each other, even with like playing the chess games and them putting their life experiences in the chessboard while they were playing. These are things that impacted me, and I learned from that. Even us as adults can learn from the babes as to how they function and how we can help them to be the best that they can be, to make us the best that we can be. I can't say how grateful I am that I had that opportunity to learn from him and to pour into him as well. So I say to you, Joy, gratitude. To you, Cheyou, gratitude for the wisdom and knowledge that you poured into me to be able to pass on to my star seed, as you would call them. Well, hell, pardon my language, as we call them, because we are from stardust, and that would make them all star seeds. From you, I have learned to elevate my way of thinking and functioning in this world, which goes back to the unschooled guide. We can help you and you and you and you and even you, especially you. We can help you with whatever it is that you may feel like you cannot attain for your child.
Holding it down.
My apologies.
Yes, indeed. That's why, I go by Cheyou, because you are me, she is you. We are one. And that's another reason why we need to be schooling our own, and I'm gonna stress our own, is because this is what we need to be instilling in them.
I agree.
And they're not gonna do that in them compulsory boot camps. They're not gonna do that.
And speaking of our own, I got this. This is I had shared a partial of the cover on the broadcast title page today, and here is also still a part of the. This is the cover, a part of the cover of the Unschool Guide that we scribed, published, all that great stuff. We're taking pre-orders, and there's other images on this cover again, and the images, just to make a point right now, is in support of our own. So when when we start, because right now this is the pre-launch. We're here pre-launch, letting y'all know we taking pre-orders for the Unschool Guide, and right now this is like we're having a reveal party one day where we just gonna break out the full cover photo. We coming at y'all right now. We giving y'all a heads up. Get it right, because we coming.
Get it while it's hot.
This is the warning. Be prepared. This is the warm up. Like when you exercise, warm up. So this is the warm up. When y'all see this title page, yeah, it supports our own. The images on there, they look like our own.
Right.
This guide is for us.
Right.
Tools for us, because in our communities, we don't know just the knowledge out there that we can homeschool, unschool is not out there. Right. It's not there.
And there's very, very, very little information
for
our people on unschooling. There's a lot of our people familiar with homeschooling, but when you get to start speaking on unschooling, this just blank. They don't know what that is. And from my experience, most people, when you tell them that you're unschooling, they're going to take it as not schooling.
You can't do that.
Right. So they just hear that and then it's like, so you're not schooling your child, they
like, that ain't real school.
You're not schooling them at all.
That ain't real school. What you mean unschooled?
Right.
I ain't trying to get locked up.
I call it unprogramming.
Unprogramming.
There we go. Unprogramming.
That's what the un is for.
Anna Rose from Facebook. Peace. She's in here. We appreciate you being here.
Right.
Reed's Learning Street sending their love from all directions to y'all on Facebook. Oh, y'all know what? Just in case y'all like, where the YouTubers at? I got a strike yesterday on YouTube. So we're up. If you on YouTube watching this right now, it's because you are watching the upload. We are actually live right now on Facebook and Twitter, and you're watching the upload. We appreciate you being here and you getting this information. So subscribe, like, and share, because y'all are watching this like a week after the live. But go ahead, we here.
That's right.
For our own.
That's right. And we here for them babies, because that's what we have to start at the root.
Yep, what Sharice just mentioned, she got that baby over there with her.
Mm-hmm. She got the newborns.
Yes.
That's right. She's not playing.
Mm-hmm.
She said, give me the newborns.
That's right. Start them off from the womb.
That's absolutely the womb.
Now let's talk right quick. Let's talk about the guide. We keep referring to this Unschool Guide, not as a book. So let's talk about why it's a guide versus a book.
Because most people don't read.
There you go.
And because, again, this is the warm up. We have to intro us in, because, again, there's a lack of community. There's a lot of lack of knowledge in the community. And so we're coming first with this intro. It's a guide. It's enough to get people out of the, what I call them, the something conversations. Anyway, this guide is enough to bring you out of the fog. It's just enough. Right. And it's also enough in there to get you advanced further along in whatever state you're in, whatever your status is in the unschool process. So if you don't know, that guide is for you. If you know a little bit, the guide is for you. If you know all of it and above, the guide is for you.
Absolutely.
Because then you can share the guide with someone else instead of you keep telling them all of what you knew over and over again, like what we were doing.
Absolutely.
So this guide is for everyone. It's not a book. We're not labeling a book because it's not full of curriculum and it's not full of step by step, because everyone lives in a different state.
Right.
All states are legal. Homeschool is legal. What we each cannot do, we can, but what we each not in the guide, it has state by state guide for everyone. And also the children are your responsibility. So we up here sharing back to school memes, and we talking about us as a community and not putting them out in the standard system and throwing your kids on the school bus. You are responsible. So at the end of the day, we are here to guide you through your process for your family, for your home. We are not out to be like the standard and put everybody in a box, a square, like Cherie said earlier. The guide is enough to help you in your flexible status, and us being flexible enough to recognize everybody and be a support system to us all.
Absolutely. And no matter what realm you're on, you know, it's a guide that guides you through all realms and aspects of whatever your reality and your resonance is.
Agreed. This guide is like Shay would say, a seed being planted. And all you have to do is just water that seed.
Absolutely.
We're not trying to tell you how to do it. We're just giving you aids to get started, to continue, to move forward, whichever place you're at in your learning or schooling process. Just pretty much get in where you fit in. Don't think that you have to be like everyone else or every other curriculum. We don't even use a curriculum. If you want me to be technical,
I don't use a curriculum.
You don't have to school for 8 hours a day. You don't have to school Monday through Friday. School when you need to. Even when
at 12 o'clock at night, I used to do it.
Yep, 12 a.m. that midnight hour.
That's right. That's right. You know, if the baby is up at 2 and 3 in the morning, give them something to learn and take in while they're up at 2 and 3 in the morning. Even if your child is on a different sleeping schedule or resting schedule, because we don't sleep, we rest. So if they're on a different resting schedule, make it fit your schedule and their schedule. If you need to, quote unquote, work in the system at a particular time, then put your schooling at the other time and let your child rest while you're working. Fit it in. It's not that difficult.
And then speaking on you being unique, speaking on differences, speaking on we are all not the same. As an example of that, in the Unschool Guide, we're taking pre-orders. Pre-orders, order yours. Contact one of us, get your pre-order.
That's right.
So in to support that and to be about it, because we're talking about it, there are examples in the book from Reed's Learning Street and Cheyou Essences on things like, now a lot of you will open up this Unschool Guide and you'll be like, that word ain't spelled right. What is that word? That word ain't right. Okay, in the Unschool Guide, to promote you letting your child, let your child write how they write, let your child spell how they spell, let your child speak how they, let them express themselves. So those examples are in the guide. Y'all want to speak on that?
They're going to get it right, and I think it's key to allow the child to express themselves. I mean, we are creators. So who created this language, these letters, you know?
These glyphs.
Right, these glyphs.
Y'all want to be technical, they not letters, they glyphs.
Right. So A is not for just for Apple.
A is for Jacks.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, because there's times that like I tell people, I say, you have the letter A. What does it mean? They never told you what A means. They just tell you what's A.
Nobody taught them what that glyph mean.
Right. It could because it's a glyph.
It's a glyph.
Absolutely. And so that's key.
Sharice, you want to speak on that?
Well, I study the alpha and beta. So, and I teach with consonant sounds, removing the vowel sounds so that it's not as difficult for the children to pronounce or speak words. We speak things into existence, obviously. So knowing how to pronounce them would make a difference. And with the English language, quote unquote English language, being bastardized and a mishmash of a lot of different languages, it makes it difficult for children to grasp it in the beginnings of their life. One word having 3 meanings or 3 different spellings, or those types of things make it difficult. So when you open up the guide, you're going to see that particular letters are missing or particular sounds are spelled a different way so that the children can pronounce them or make the correct sound when saying the word. And there are some older adults who have different ways of learning that may utilize that form of reading, quote unquote.
Right.
And so the meta nature also has the vowels missing. So that's not something new that we're expressing.
No, not at all.
It might sound new to some people, like, what you mean there's no vowels in the word? That's not.
Absolutely. Like the word Yahweh, right?
Yahweh.
Right.
And we don't do that sometimes why stuff with the vowels neither. Don't do that.
Right.
Right.
Go ahead.
Because I'm over here spelling out myself, but this word, right? It says you.
It does, doesn't it?
It says you. So that's who Yahweh is. Wait, I feel like I'm leaving out a letter. It's only 4 letters, and I'm like,
it's right. That's why I'm like, let's see, how does that go?
Right, YHWH, right?
Yeah, you was.
So I was missing the letter, right? So So this word right here, this word or these glyphs say you. Now, people take this out of context, but when I see it, that's what I see, you.
Because there's no vowels.
And so most people that they worship Yahweh as something that's outside of themselves, you're really worshiping you. That right.
That part.
And so, yeah, that part, because it's gonna always come back to you. But yeah, this, like, if this is how your child wants to spell you, there we go. And that's how they express them, because 9 times out of 10 they're gonna see it. They're gonna catch on to it before you do.
Sharice gone. Should be back.
They might even tell you, "Mommy, that says you."
Right. And then Sharice was also talking about on English, and she mentioned the bastardized English. So in a broadcast the other day, I did Kai Creatress. We were talking about Sesame Street. Don't sit your kids in front of Sesame Street.
Oh my goodness.
And I was reading an article from the Smithsonian on one of the anniversaries of Sesame Street or something. And in there they were talking about the Black character Franklin. He was in like 73, came to Sesame Street.
Really?
And as they were talking, they were like, I'm a paraphrase, but they were like, we have Sesame Street is speaking. We have Roosevelt Franklin, I think that was his name, speaking Black English to make him more believable to the target audience, which was 4-year-old black children of 4-year-olds in the inner city, to make him more believable. Now I'm like, hold up, y'all. But it just, you from New York.
Yeah, you know that.
Now let me say, Sesame Street was set in Harlem. Actually, the setting was in Harlem. And
that's where I grew up.
And that's where Sesame Street came from. So when we are addressing Sesame Street, and then they want to bring on this character named Roosevelt Franklin, and they bring him in speaking Black English, so he's believable to the target audience.
Right, what they call Black slang.
Yes. So now, my viewpoint while I was live reading that article, it just came up. I started the live to go on a personal rant. And then I was interacting with the audience. And so I'm like, y'all know what I got all day. What y'all want to talk about? So Kai Craig just brought up Sesame Street. So we're addressing that, Sharice. So I was like, you know what? These people are in New York, right? The melting pot. The bring me your huddled masses yearning to breathe free.
Right.
And then in the same Sesame Street article, they talking about how whatever president it was at the time, it's a Smithsonian article on Sesame Street. They were talking about how they had this program in line that's got to do with Head Start, I think it was, and how they were concerned about the poor Mexican American children. Now, you got Black kids on the street playing with Mexican American kids on the street? So why you got to have Franklin come on Sesame Street, the first Black Muppet on Sesame Street, speaking Black English, so he's more believable to the target audience, which is the 4-year-old inner city Black child? That's Sesame Street's target audience.
Right.
So, but in New York City, not in New York City, but in New York, there's all kind of backgrounds of people, right? Statue of Liberty standing there. Why don't come at the children around here talking about you gonna give them a character that's speaking Black English to make him more believable and more relatable.
Right, more relatable.
They can play with Mexican American children. They can play with Irish children and German children and hear different dialects and languages out loud. They can hear a Black Muppet come on and speak without the Black English and relate to him and be believable to them.
Right, absolutely.
Wrong. I had to speak on
it. And so that even so will leave a conflict between the mother and the child, what you would call a parent-child relationship also, as well as because even if the parent decided, okay, now I want to start, unschooling my child, homeschooling, which the unschooling journey usually starts off as homeschooling first for most, and then you already have this seed, you done set the seed in front of this TV screen, what we call in New York, the idiot box, right? And so you done set the baby there, and the baby just been, just taking everything in, just, all that predictive program and everything. So now let's say you just do decide you want to go on this journey. You may have a conflict. You may have a conflict with your own seed. Because they've been zoned out in a whole nother world. 9 times out of 10, you wasn't really paying them attention. You just set them in front of the TV. You don't know what they absorbing while they sit there. And you might think that Sesame Street is just completely harmless. And you be, listen here. Y'all need to y'all better go look up some of these, go look up Walt Disney, go look at, go look up these people. So y'all can see who they really are, because I feel like this deeply, like you have to wonder about an adult, that's completely, that their mission is to entertain children. Just something is a little off balance about that to me. That you want to entertain.
It was a white lady made Sesame Street. A white lady created Sesame Street.
Right. But where is it? You see what I mean? It's supposed to be based out of Harlem.
Exactly.
I grew up in Harlem, and this is a historically black, I would say it's like its own little town in a sense, So I came up in historically black, in a historically black environment. But And this is why you need to do this research, because here it goes, this Caucasian woman. You know, we have a Caucasoid here who and then we got Jim Henson and they just had something going on with Jim Henson.
Yeah.
About Jim Henson. What is his name? Jim Henson.
Jim
right?
Henson. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Y'all need to go look him up too. Y'all better go see who's behind Barney, Pee Wee Herman.
Mm-mm.
What's the other one? Mr. Rogers' neighbor.
Yes.
I'm dropping names.
Research, study to show thyself approved. Y'all better learn who these people are.
Mr. Rogers was creepy.
Mr. Rogers.
Real creepy.
You know, even as a child, like, you know, I always felt weird about Mr. Rogers. I don't know. You know, it could be my personal thing, but something I'm right about that. I never took to a liking with Mr. Rogers. Nope. I wouldn't be caught dead at Mr. Rogers' house now or then.
A lot of the names you dropped were brought up on PEDO charges. And so
yeah, because I talked about that at the Elmo puppeteer.
Mm-hmm.
I talked about that during that broadcast last week. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, see? Look at those. No, those images are still not acceptable to me.
That's right. And then that program in Cheyou was talking about sitting the children in front of the screen. I talked about that as well. Because the first Black Muppet on Sesame Street, Roosevelt Franklin, he got them presidential names.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff. When he first came in on the Sesame Street, he went to school and he danced in the classroom. He danced in the class.
Mm.
Now,
Like a minstrel show.
okay, yes, that's what I mentioned. The entertainment. You just can't walk in you got to be the entertainment. This
Right.
your first day in school, Black Muppet, and you want to dance in class.
Mm.
And then he go and conversate. Class clown.
Mm-hmm.
So then he go conversates with Hardhead Harry. That's the Muppet's name, Hardhead Harry. So as the children are sitting here, they're learning how to, I'm about to go dance in class. And then I'm gonna go sit over here with Hardhead Harry.
I'm gonna go sit over here with this hardhead. You know that.
And we gonna cut up. And then you got to go to the principal office. Your mother gotta come, your parents, your caregiver gotta come pick you up from school. Just to sit you back in front of the TV. Because what you just did, you like, what they call my caregiver for? Why I go to the principal office for? Mm-hmm. Because somebody sat you in front of that TV, let you sit in front of that TV, and these days hold and control that remote. And you're picking up programming and going to the school and getting in trouble and don't know why.
Exactly.
Right. And I mean, sitting in school is just as worse. I mean, that's just like sitting in front of the TV screen.
It is, because all that
predictive programming.
The classrooms is just like going to a different channel. That's all.
That's it.
You just get up and go to the next channel.
Yeah. Yep.
That's pretty much it. And then you sit in front of the screen, and the teacher's just projecting things in there.
And our children
everybody knows this. Even in school, like that, the interaction between the child and the teacher, and I'm just use the word child because that's what a lot of people still relate to. Between the child and the teacher, to this day, I'm an adult, and you can't tell me that teacher be picking every child hand that's raised up in their classroom. So that means that most of the students are just sitting there as spectators. You know,
and the blackboard is the screen.
Absolutely.
Sure.
That's
so
right.
you go sit in front of the TV. You wake up before the sun even rise. You go sit. You get to school. That's the TV. You sit there for them to tell lies to your vision. You know, you flip through all the channels by going from class to class. You know, the bell rings.
That's a commercial break,
right? Okay. That's a commercial break. You know, Then you're out of school. Then you go right back home and do what? Sit in front of TV, right?
All over again.
Get some more lies told to your vision.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, all over again, and it's just a constant. It's just a constant cycle, and this is generational. You know, this is not just this. This is real serious generation trauma.
Yeah,
generational trauma, and it needs to be. It really needs to be dealt with
right now.
Right now, and right now is the best time to deal with it.
Yeah, so we right now got the unschooled guide for you. It's about 50 pages, so yes, a guide. And the font's kind of big, so you know there's a lot of information, but it's about 50 pages of information. That knowledge we share. Us scribes, we got it for you.
That's right. And also, I see the way it's structured is that for the audience to find themselves comfortable. So it's like you're going to be sitting in 3 different classes, right? So you have Joy Allen style, Tisha style, and then you have Cherie Reed, Learning Street style. Then you have Cheyou Essence style. You know, so I mean, in a sense, those are the channels that you need to be switching from.
Okay.
You know, those 3 channels right there.
That perfect trifecta.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right. The Trinity. Absolutely. Those 3 channels right there. That's the channel. That's the channels that you need to sit your babies down in front of. You know, and then
add your own channel to it.
That's right. And those options are in the unschooled guide as well. We did put our information in there and some additional services we can provide to you all, more guidance. Right now, I'm going to share a clearer version of a part of the cover. And what we got? What else we going to talk about, y'all?
Well, you know, we can never run out of
because you mentioned diploma when we first started earlier, and some people were here and they're watching, they wasn't here before. The diploma, you created yours, and you told me how to do it, so I created my son's diploma, and I even got him a wallet size one.
Oh
yeah. So
you know what? I think I went back to that website a couple of weeks ago, and I saw that they had those, and I was like, this is really cool. And, you know, us as consumers, we have a tendency, especially women, to be like,
and I remember because
one of those too.
This is how we prepare our children, but I don't know what as an adult he's going to do in life. So I got him the wallet size. I remember going on job interviews, and even when I went to go to college, they wanted a copy of my high school diploma, and to be carrying around that book, you know, because it got that cover. So I'm walking down the street, you know, with this cover and this full page diploma in my hand. I got him a wallet size so he could put it in his wallet.
Right. That's a great idea. And see, I had the opposite experience. I've had interviews and they never asked me for a diploma. So I even feel a way about that too, because I mean, I work for government agencies and things like that. Yeah. And they never asked me for a diploma. I was like, so what do we need this thing for anyway?
Right.
You know,
right.
I mean, most of the jobs that I've had in the past, not asked me for a diploma. And usually, I wasn't going to give it to them that day anyway. I'm going to be like, I might have to get it back to you.
Was that outside of Indiana?
That was outside of Indiana.
Okay.
That was
so that's a good example for anybody who's not aware of how each state has their own guidelines, their own procedures, their own statutes, their own laws, their own ways of doing things. So what I experienced in Indiana, she didn't experience in New York or another state. And Sharice probably didn't experience in Michigan.
And that's okay.
And that same thing is with the unschooled guide is for when you're homeschooling, unschooling, because each state is different. Just like those who don't know, I prepare tax returns. I have a tax business. So I always hear, well, my friend, we work at the same job, we make the same income. How her refund bigger than mine? I'll be like, y'all ain't got the same situation.
Right.
Have her come here with her tax pay, and then I'll show y'all the difference that you must know. Other than that, I can't tell you. So people come to us like, oh, well, in my state, I got to do this to homeschool. Oh, well, in my state, all I had to do in Indiana was fill out a form online. Had about 6 questions, took less than 5 minutes. They issued a number right there like that, and I ain't heard from them people since. All the way through getting my son his graduation date that I set. My son graduated on his birthday. That's his graduation date I set for him on his 18th birthday. In New York, they got different ways that they go to unschooling, homeschooling, and Michigan and everywhere else. So you cannot look at my situation and say, all Tisha Thompson had to do was go on the line and do a 5-minute. Why the state sending me all these forms? Right. Tisha didn't have to do that. Cheyou, she said that she got to print her child's diplomas and stuff. What is this stuff I'm looking at? Right. And Sharice, she said she helped teach somebody's child. And y'all calm down. Right. Calm down.
Each state's different. Each state is different. Very different. Some very different, because New York is tedious over there. So
yeah, we have a state by state guide in the unschooled guide, so it's resourceful, very resourceful. And they was doing what else in New York?
Well, this is the reason why. One of the reasons why I actually relocated from New York, because I really had it in my heart that I wanted to homeschool my at the time children.
Right, they grown.
Right. And so I really wanted to homeschool them, but I just knew from everything that I researched, it was going to be hard as hell to do that in New York. So I said, okay, well, I'm relocating anyway too. And so that was also like the drive that pushed me there. And when I did finally start, I had to do more research because I'm in a new state. So now I have to research Virginia's homeschool laws and all these things going on in Virginia. And came to find out that in Virginia, the homeschooling laws there are very, very, I want to say smooth, because it was like, I think it was like a Friday, I sent out the notice of intent, because they require you there to have a notice of intent. So I sent out the notice of intent. Now, this notice of intent is not you asking them for permission.
That's right.
You're basically telling them my child is no longer going to that school.
Yeah, asking, can you take your kids out of school is don't even exist.
Right, it doesn't. Because here, Joy, she done walked up in the school and walked right out. And I found that out too when I first moved here. They don't care out here. Like when I first moved here, I went to the Board of Education. But I think I was trying to just like notify them, that I homeschool because I'm new to the state. And so they was basically like, so that's your business. Okay. They was like, I don't know why you came here. And I was like, what? I said, so I can't get a letter or something? No, that's, if you want to write up a letter or something, you go do that. And I was just like, okay. That was easy.
So I feel a bunch of people moving to Indiana now.
Okay. If you want to homeschool, you better get on over here. Because they sure don't care as soon as you walk through the door. As soon as you cross the state line.
Sharice, what's the Michigan experience?
Well, with Michigan, all I had to do was take a letter of intent as well. That's it. I didn't go through any 6-question program or go online or do any of that. I literally wrote my own letter of intent to the school system. They made a copy of that, and there was another form that they wanted me to fill out. I chose not to, and I still have not heard back from them since.
Right.
And see, I wouldn't even know, because that's what I was going to say. I sent mine in on a Friday. I still remember it to this day. The following Monday, they sent me a letter basically saying, congratulations, you know, do what you do. If you need some help, ask. But you know, I already had my mind. I ain't asking for that. So that was the start of our journey. And actually it was surprising that it was a response so quickly. You know, but the mindset I was in at that time, if they wouldn't have gave me a response, I would just probably went ahead and did it
anyway. Because you can.
Like, oh yeah, they want to play with me.
Yeah, Indiana, they I went online because they got this and did it. They give you a number, they issue you a homeschool number. And also at the time, you know, I was I filed tax returns. I did all that diligently. And on the Indiana state tax return, there is a line. There's a homeschool credit line. You get $1,000 credit.
I do know that.
So I tell when people want to talk to me, especially in Indiana, about, well, is that legal? Is that lawful? I'm gonna go to jail. I'm like, look at your state tax return, and I bet you'll see a line on the form that says homeschool credit, and I've gotten the credit all these years.
Right. Credit. See, I've been trying to get that for 2 years and I haven't been able to get it. But I think I think Indiana and 2 other states are like the only states that do that with homeschooling. They actually give you a credit, which I think is wonderful because you know, I know a lot of parents, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing like with coming into motherhood. You haven't been a mother before that point.
Right.
You know, so you know, coming into this, everything is going to just be just brand new.
Yes.
You want to say it's just going to have to be, how you say, you're going to have to learn by experience more than anything.
Yep. It's like being a mom all over again.
Right. And
first time parent all over again. Mom, dad.
Right. Because, you know, once you sit that child, and every parent knows this, right? And you hear a lot of parents say this, is that once after they place that child in school, they could have been 4, 5, 3, put them in daycare, whatever. You hear a lot of parents, they always say, what happened to my baby? Once I sent them to school, they like this whole other person.
Well, you sent them to school. You did that.
Right.
That's what happened.
And so after that point, you know, now that I think back on it, you're not going to see that 3-year-old. That was as organic or 4-year-old or 5-year-old. You're not gonna. They don't went off to the indoctrination camp now.
Yeah.
So now you don't know who they is. They don't know who you are. You going to work. They going to school.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
So now you're gonna have to sit down, and y'all gonna have to get that reconnection going now.
And relearn each other.
You're gonna have to relearn each other, reconnect, synchronize. Even that already looking into homeschooling or already homeschooling, that's a great crossover. So and it's more freedom because I sat down, you know, I started off homeschooling, and then one day I was just like, well, why did I remove, you know, unenroll my babies from school just to do the same thing that it was doing in there? I'm talking about, man, I was ready. I done went out and got some school desks and all that.
Yes. I had somebody contact me the other day, like, well, I got to get supplies. I'm like, you don't need supplies. It's not, unschool is actually cost like next to nothing, literally.
Right.
Well, I meant I got to get some laptops. Laptops is not required. Get your kids out there school. That's the requirement.
The seeds don't care about none of that. They just don't even care about that. Especially when they really little. They'll be happy and content playing in dirt. Playing in their dirt.
Yep.
And trust, they will learn a lot more valuable lessons from playing in that dirt than they're going to learn even one day in school. They might learn a life lesson playing in the dirt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Watching them ants march by or something.
Right. or get bit by one of the fire ones.
Stung by
I bet you don't
bumblebee.
forget that. That's a life lesson.
Shoot, watching the birds build their nests.
Yes.
Shoot, Sharice, what you got over there for us? I see you smiling. I know what that means. What you got?
You know, I'm sitting in my brain going, if we just let them go outside, there's more learning that can be done outside than on a laptop, or you can read all day long. Although when you put into action what you have taken in, that makes a whole big world of difference.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Major world of difference.
Yeah. So peace to everyone from Facebook tuning in right now, and Twitter. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, it's because this video was uploaded. You missed the live. So yes, we are here to promote and take pre-orders for the Unschool Guide that the three of us published. So this Unschool Guide is published by Scribe. We are your scribes. This Unschool Guide, it has been scribed and published by Reads Learning Street and Cheyou Essences and Karmic Dynasty. All right. So we're here to promote this guide. And as an intro, we have volumes. Oh, and hold on. We support our own. What was that you got? Shea Butters from Cheyou Essences. So yes, we do more than sit, talk, and write unschooled books and guides and volumes for all of y'all. This is not the back to school season. It's what season?
The unschool season. Shit.
That's right. It's the unschool season.
The unschool season. She said the back to your roots season.
There we go.
It's not back to school season, y'all. Don't let them commercials get in your pockets.
What season is that, though?
What season is that?
Right.
I thought it was 4 seasons. It's 5 seasons.
Right.
It's winter, spring, summer, fall.
And back to school.
Back to school.
All back to school season. There's 5 seasons.
Right.
Either way, we are here because each season depending on where you live, is gonna cost you just to change up your clothes.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep your kids warm, so you need gloves, hats, mittens, and then if you're going to be in a cold climate, you got to. They get bigger, so if you in a warm climate, they get bigger, so you got to get them the next size up swimwear. You know what I mean? Depending on where you at, that's seasonal enough in your pocket.
Right.
And then depending on the season, it determines what they eat, what you feed them, the growth season. And that's 5 seasons. There's some seasons more than 4, and back to school ain't one of them.
It ain't one of them at all.
Okay?
Because that makes no sense.
It don't make sense.
You just buying this child clothes to go back to school. They probably just bought them an outfit last week or something, a couple of days ago. Then here goes school. They got on a whole new outfit. You better put that outfit on that you got them last week.
Oh, and contemplate on this. Those uniforms making everybody look like about nowhere.
Uniforms. Because you're in Detroit, so like in New York too, they wear uniforms.
Yeah, they wear uniforms in Indiana too.
Mm-hmm.
Some schools, not all of them, but yeah. So we here to have this guide for you. We have volumes prepared for you all in different stages to take everybody. We're approaching this as if nobody knows. We have to start the intro. So we're bringing everybody the Unschool Guide to get them started. Then in the volumes that follow, we will advance as the manner as we see fit, according to us accommodating the questions, comments, and concerns from the communities. Because Sharice has been in the Detroit community for many years on the unschooled path. So she's came into contact with many families, many children, and she still is on that path today. Cheyou, all the way from New York. She done came across state lines, and she Midwest Indiana right now on her path. And we have these experiences. And so based on what we are receiving from you all, that's the next volume. That's how we shaped, and we're continuing to scribe the volumes that will follow the Unschool Guide. Yes, give the European back his miseducation.
That's
Right.
That's one of my students right there. That's her mom.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's what's up.
Give it back.
She said, "Share, let's go." Oh yeah, earlier she said, "Peace and love, I'm here." Yeah,
that's one of my my success stories right there. That
yeah,
little girl
she came in while you were talking earlier, so that's timely because I it slipped me to get back to the comments. Yeah, she came in while you were actually talking, Sharice, earlier. Yep.
If you all
success story, you want to talk to us more about this success story?
Yes, please let me tell you, because this young lady, this young star seed is brilliant, and yet everyone else kind of tried to count her out. This baby has done amazing. She works with my son, and they do just like this, just like your son did.
Yeah, my son, you unschool him too.
When I tell you that I would like for all of my children to be able to show people that, look at this shit. Pardon me. Look at what we can do and what we produce. We are the creators of brilliance. And when we pour into them, they're going to pour back into our community.
Absolutely. I mean, what you pour, it has to come back. You know, what you give is what you get.
That's right.
So it has to. It has to. And it will every time.
Divine feminine standing up.
That's right. Yes.
That's right.
Stand up. Shakti said her daughter Michaela has gained so much.
Michaela.
Yeah, my bad. Michaela has gained so much.
And I just, when you work with a seed that gives you that motivation, oh my goodness, I can't even express the excitement that comes from that. And my son looks forward to working with her every week. He's like asking me, "Mom, am I going to?" And I'm like, "Okay, cool out, kid. Cool out. You know, you will simmer down." That's the best that I can't ask for anything else in return.
Right.
And that's what all of us, we can do this without the system, without the Tamahu, troglodyte, whatever you want to call them. We started this before they came and overtook it. Let's give it back to them so that we can get back to where we were and need to be.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And to have us ending this broadcast today on the strength of a success story, couldn't ask for much more. The success story, along with also our stories, gives the evidence, if any was needed, that we know what we're talking about.
Yes.
We know we ain't here talking about. There are people who will open the Unschool Guide again, and they'll look at the sentence structures and the grammar and all that, and let that be an obstacle for you if you want to. The whole point is to express the creative genius in your child, and for you to know that you need to support that. And because if you be quick to criticize what we put in that guide, that means you were quicker to criticize your child, probably.
That's right.
Leave the child alone. We are speaking for the child also through the expression in the Unschool Guide.
Right.
Correct.
The guide is also a guide.
It's a guide
to express our expressions, our different, the scribes of the guys, different, expressions, and how it's okay, how it's okay to express your own self through, your learning, your journey, your school, unschool sojourn, because it's going to be a sojourn.
Yes, and the Unschool Guide, as you open it and you're looking and you're reading, for people who don't even see us on these broadcasts, for people who don't see us out in public together, for people who don't even know who we are, just reading this guide and looking at it, they will know that they'll be able to hear each voice. So as they're reading, they can tell which scribe is talking. They might not know which scribe is talking. Where's she at, Sharice? This thing is backwards. Anyway, Cherie,
she over here.
Cherie, read.
She over here.
You, Cherie, say you got it.
There we go.
Just open. Thank you. No,
Right.
Cherie, do this.
There we go.
Just opening up the guide, unaware of who we are. You will open the guide and see us together like we are here right now. You can tell when you flip the page, all this, one of the other scribes is talking right now. Mm-hmm. We're coming together even in the book. We did not speak in a uniform manner, and we didn't compact everything and where you could flow. And when you read this unschooled guide, you're going to be hearing conversation. You're going to be talking to each one of us. And sometimes you'll be talking to all three of us at the same time, like right now. Mm-hmm. So this is definitely an example of us being a village, the collaboration. And as Kathleen Williams has said with her beautiful self in here today, mm-hmm. Divine Feminine standing up.
Absolutely.
I'm feeling that
somebody got to stand up for these babies.
Somebody got to do it.
Absolutely.
So we we'll do it.
That's what we need.
It takes a village.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yep. So, Sharice, anything you want to share with us? Everybody here must know from you before they leave today.
Know that you can homeschool and still have a successful starseed. I'm here to prove it. Obviously, I'm in a hotel room because we travel. Mm-hmm. My is a champion swimmer because we are able to homeschool.
That's right.
Same thing.
You don't have to worry about taking off your baby to work and none of that. No. That's right.
There you go, Kathleen. The time is now.
You take work
tomorrow. The time is now.
Yep.
That's my message.
That's her message.
That's right. Now
you take work with you. You take your child with you. Y'all travel.
That's
your
right.
Child a champion. Your child is standing in the Olympics one day, getting his gold medal in Asia. He said, all that homeschool. Awesome. Ain't got to take time off the school calendar, notify school administration. You need X amount of days off. Shoot, you might decide to go to Asia and do an extra celebration because he got that Olympic gold, but you only told the school you're going to be gone 5 days. You only told your job you're going to be gone 5 days.
Right.
No.
I ran into a parent that said that yesterday, that her son still holds it against her because they were not able to stay for the championship or the finals because she had to go back to work and had to get him back to school, etc. So, I thought about it like, I'm so grateful for the unschooling system because it allows us to be able to participate in everything.
You actually have the freedom to do whatever it is, whatever your heart desires,
whatever you want to do.
And at the same time, I see that as a child is going to be gaining a higher knowledge.
Yes.
They're going to definitely gain a higher knowledge than they would gain in the compulsory schooling. Is because they're not in that box that Cherie was talking about earlier. They all 4 walls broken down. Mm-hmm. They're not in that box.
Right.
So now they have the space and opportunity to do whatever they want to do. And now the child and the parent has more opportunity to even travel together. Mm-hmm. And while they in their travels, they get to learn each other.
Yes.
They get to experiences in other worlds, realms, what you want to call cities, states, countries. And and then they don't have to worry about, I got this many days. I don't want to use up all my vacation days, and or if I get this child back and I don't get or if I don't get this child back in time to school, then they might call Child Protective Services on me. When all you just want to do is go and bond with your family, and you just want to live out your life.
Right.
And then it happens like that, you know. Some people actually do. They go on vacation, they just want to live their life, and they come back and they got a world of drama.
Yes.
You know.
Got to take a vacation from the vacation.
Right.
Yep. It's like I had a guest on the panel a few days ago, and she was talking about her travels through Central America. And she homeschooled, unschooled. She had her seeds with her. She had her children with her. And she didn't have to worry about getting back because she didn't have to worry about things like getting back to the States, and she could just extend her visa and they just keep traveling. You know, you can be wherever on any day and any time and unschool your children. Class is in session when you say so.
Absolutely.
And for those that are concerned about your 9 to 5, again, you can have someone else unschool your child for you. Even though I unschool my son again, I send him to Reed's Learning Center.
Right.
I can't do it. She got it.
Don't go to Sesame Street. Go to Reed's Learning Street.
Reed's Learning Street, not Sesame Street. And everything in the studio,
straight.
Everything in the studio is opposite. So we like. And then another thing I want to share is the evidence of moving forward past your own child, because I assist my 4 daughters right now with unschooling my grandchildren. Now, the good thing about taking the children, never putting them in the system, is you don't have to worry about intent forms. You don't have to worry about withdrawal forms. You don't have to be concerned about none of that. You do not have to be concerned. And then the other thing is with that, to further evidence to express someone else can teach your child. Like when your child is in school, they got a different art teacher from their homeroom teacher, a math teacher, music teacher, physical education, PE, gym teacher, health teacher, all them are different people. Same thing in your home. If you're not good in math or science, and all of which are not requirements because your child learn what you want them to learn. And if they self-study like my son was, he learned what he want to learn.
Absolutely.
And the thing is with my grandchildren, like Charbay, she's here, she's from the States, but she taught in China. And now she teaches my grandchild Chinese, and she teaches her art. So the Charbay alone is 2 teachers in one. You know, so then there's other teachers that are available apparently in the community. So whatever Cheyou Essences has, and I want my grandchildren to be a part of that, I'm just send them to her.
That's right.
You know, and then things don't have to be in person. Charbay lives in another state and she still teaches my grandchild. So apparently things can be remotely, like some of y'all experienced during this past community mask wearing phase. And masquerade. For those of you who don't know about the masquerade, it's because you're seeing this video in a future time. But just know that the person that's teaching your child does not have to be physically there.
They really don't. And I mean, also, like, this is before I started homeschooling or unschooling when I was in New York. So I have a background of 17 years doing security, all types of security. And so I was working this security job. I think it was residential, elderly, apartment building. And so it was this guy that used to come there, and he used to give guitar lessons to the children in the neighborhood and some of the, like the elderly people in the building, their grandchildren. And so we would just always, have like these deep conversations, about these universal things and all of this. He would just come to the desk and we would always have like these really
right quick, excuse me. Sharice, I was closing out earlier because she has to go. She had to watch her son get another gold medal. So we appreciate you for your closing remarks.
Bring back that medal.
Peace and love, wholeness, wellness, balance to you, and safe travels on your way to Michigan when you are done here in Indiana. Thank you for being here today. And first time on Karmic Dynasty. Outstanding. Peace to you.
Peace.
All right. So, Cheyou, you were saying?
Yeah. So basically, one day I just say, I really love the fact that, And this was a black guy, all black, his students were all black children. And I said, I love the fact that I'm interested in my son taking guitar lessons from you, because that's what he was giving guitar lessons.
Okay.
And so I said, what do I have to do to get these guitar lessons set up between you and my son? So he said, look, I'm gonna tell you like this. He said, since we always have good talks and everything. He said, if you can get the guitar is like $200, and he said, I'll just give him the lessons for free.
Okay.
Now, why he said this is because he know most parents in the hood is gonna be like $200 for a damn guitar. Most of them not, they not on that level. So
right.
And I was like, and this was when he was still in school. So I said, okay, bet. And from then he was having guitar lessons. When I tell you this boy running around, and you'd be surprised to see a child change like that. I mean, because he didn't want to go nowhere without his guitar. So here's this little black boy in the hood running around with a guitar. All the other kids is in the park. I take him to the park. Mommy, I bring my guitar to the park. We get to the park. He's sitting in the park. I told him one day, I said, maybe we need to get you a little cup or something. Okay. Maybe we need to get you a little cup, and they need to start giving out some donations the way you sitting there playing it. So I mean, and that's the same thing you could do for your unschooler. You do those same things for the unschooler. Yeah. It doesn't change.
It does not change.
And I think you have even more freedom out to, like right now, I have my neighbor that lives like right next, like that. He plays several different instruments, and I was thinking like one day I'm gonna send. I'm not there yet. Because I got a lot of things going on. So, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna send. Let my girls get these lessons. And y'all want to screen people too. I mean, don't just be sending y'all babies out here to anybody, because yes, I'm going to stress this. That is a man, but he's my neighbor. He done already been screened. Trust me, he been screened. But you want to screen. Yeah. You don't just want to drop, especially the youngest ones. You just don't want to drop them off with anybody. Make sure you do a proper screening process.
Yes, and that advisory is in the unschool guide as well. Because again, you are responsible for your children. It's up to you to get it done right and to keep them safe at all times.
Absolutely.
So Sharice has left. She had to go. Cheyou, what must everybody know? You get that right there. Okay. Before you leave today, what must they know?
Well, they must know that I personally think this book guide, and look, and what I think I was the one that came up with this idea. Like, let's not call it a book,
Yes, and that was keep on
just slipping out saying book.
Yeah, you was like, it's a guide. It's
right. I was like, it's a guide, and right is because a lot of people, especially our people, they become intimidated when they see the word like this, and the word book, and then it's this thick, So that's just like what, And so I thought it'd be great to keep it small, keep it compact, and then with a bunch of powerful information, and that's what we coming with. We coming with, I would say, never before heard information that you're gonna find in any kind of book about homeschooling, and there are not many books about unschooling. So, and
definitely not for us,
not for us, right? So
and yes, again, with like the cover, we showed the entire cover. You're going to see it supports and definitely promotes us.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's what you see just from the cover. This book is for us.
Absolutely, this book is for us, and
this guide, my bad. The guide is for us.
What we doing? Don't listen to it's
Don't
a
listen
guide.
to that part of us. Don't listen to that part of us that's saying book. That guide
It
promotes
would
us.
matter because once they open it up and they open up the pages, they're gonna be on a journey. They gonna get that guidance, you know, regardless, because that's the energy we already, you know, and frequency that we done already put into the book.
Yeah, that's right.
So whatever we put in is what's gonna come, what you gonna get out of it.
That's right.
Can't get nothing less, nothing more, nothing less. Let's just say that it's gonna be a balance of just what you need. Right, absolutely, and I'm not just saying now is a good time than any is because a lot of parents, you know, during this pandemic, you know, a lot of parents have taken their children out of school and they're thinking about unschooling. And I've seen a lot of, I've had at least 3 people, which I'm shocked, ask me questions in regards to unschooling. And they were people of our own kind. And so I'm like, wow, because, you know, I've been doing this for a while, so I done came across all types of questions. So I'm just like,
that's
wow.
why we was able to knock this guide out so fast, so well in a year's time.
Right.
Because all the feedback you've gotten,
Absolutely.
it was like a breeze. And to do the following volumes that we have to support the guide to increase your journey experience. But go ahead, my bad.
Right. So I'm real quick. Yeah, I'm just saying it's a good time. You know, get your guide, get your guidance. You know, because I know it's a lot of our women out there, you know, seeking, because I come across them all the time, seeking to find guidance in homeschooling, and you could use this if you're just starting off unschooling as well. Yeah, we need them brothers.
Yeah, the brothers too.
We need them. I mean, because I was just talking to somebody yesterday, and I was saying, you know what? When you look at the conscious community, it's mainly male dominated. Okay, and what these males about to do is they about to get over here with these cheering, like my great grandma, you know, like my great grandma used to say, y'all about to get over here and get up on over here with these cheering.
That's what y'all brothers about to do.
Okay, because these are the protectors, you know, and we gonna need y'all to get on over here and hold us down.
Yes, and we said that because we can.
And if they dominating that, come over here and dominate this community over here with these babies.
That's right.
Just the same way y'all over there dominating that conscious community.
That's right. You know, because the divine feminine standing up, and that's what we said. That's what our brothers is gonna do.
Right, because they over there debating about, you know, who's from here, there, and everywhere. Okay, and what about the babies?
Yeah, where the babies from?
Right.
Babies don't even care where they from. Babies like, I'm here. Right. And
absolutely.
So yeah, the unschool guide that we have for all of you, we have it in an ebook version, we have it in paperback, and we have it in it'll be available on Kindle as well when we launch. So right now the pre-orders are available in the ebook form. And when we launch, we'll have available the full versions, copies, editions in paperback and also Kindle. So that's my closing words for today. That's what I have to share. I appreciate all of you being here. I'm glad everybody is sharing this information out, and definitely YouTube. And those of you who are not on YouTube, because nobody in here today is on YouTube. While we're live. So if you're in here, I suggest you go to my YouTube channel, Karmic Dynasty. The information's in the ticker below, and subscribe and tap that notification bell so you can get all notifications, because we will be here again and again and again and again. And we need you to not miss the live and the notification for when we launch the Unschool Guide. And what else I'm going to say? Synchronicity.
Right.
So yes, definitely. I appreciate you all being here. Go over on YouTube and subscribe to get more information. Contact us. Our tickers have ran today. So for pre-order information, and we will see you again when we launch We're going to have our party, our launch party for the Unschool Guide, and we will be talking to you then, if not before then, because you're contacting us for more information.
Absolutely.
Peace to you all. Enjoy your day. And remember, it's not back to school season.
That's right.
That don't exist.
Y'all better head on over to Reed's Learning Street.
Or Cheyou Essences or Karmic Dynasty.
That's right.
Not Sesame Street.
Because when you think about it, it's like sesame.
Mm.